We sorry. I've been trying to get this video right. I've been trying so hard. I've been trying so freaking hard. I'm so sorry. But I'm just gonna roll with the fucking punches because I'm done. I'm over it. I'm over it. But we give certain lessons in life a freaking like some sort of like glorious freaking path. And one of those big lessons is choosing yourself. Which it's not. It's the freaking process of getting there. Maybe being there is great, but getting there, oh my god, that's a whole nother story. And a lot of us haven't even reached that point. And personally, I have to choose myself every fucking day, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It really is. And I'm pretty sure people who are actually at that point, they understand that it is a struggle. To choose yourself every freaking day of your life, you might even become freaking bitter about it, because it's like, damn, I'm still doing this? Where's my fucking knight in shining armor coming over here to fucking choose for me? But yeah, it's not easy. Getting there is not easy. And being there, sometimes it's not so easy either. But it's definitely easier than getting there. You're at least you understand a bit more, and you're over here doing what you know is right and what gets you through the day at the end of the day. And yeah, it's not like choosing. It's not like, okay, if we really think about it, if you're trying to choose yourself right now, there's something that you're trying to let go, some sort of habit, some sort of belief, some sort of thing that was engraved into you, whether that's currently, whether that was recently, it was engraved into you, or maybe when you were a child. It's something that you're trying to get rid of. Or we could go a completely different route, where there's this person that you kind of like life is good, you like them, but you kind of want to see where, I don't know, I'm going to give a little bit of a weird example. But say if you married someone at a young age and everything's good, but you kind of want to see life outside of them. And you maybe, say if you spent most of you made a mistake that a lot of people do, which is not seeing life how life is on your own, and you decided to jump into a relationship pretty quick. And the problem with that is that you're probably not living your truth. Instead, you're living a truth that revolves around someone else. And what you kind of need to do is to really find who you are, find out about yourself, and really choosing yourself. You have to let go of that person, and kind of, whether that happens with hard feelings or not, it's something that I feel like is probably a very likely example that probably happens. And that's just one of the many examples out there, that maybe there's a bad habit, maybe there's an addiction that you want to kick, that is not good for you, and you want to go through this. There's definitely different levels to this crap, and people want to kind of simplify it. But yeah, it's definitely like a lesson with, do I choose my comfort, do I choose my truth, or, and that's the difficult thing about it, because when you're choosing your comfort, everybody wants comfort in their life, and when you're giving that up, it's hard. It's really hard. It's freaking hard. And there's times where you even feel like life just feels, I don't know, disgusting. Like, damn, this feeling is disgusting. Where the hell is my fucking blanket? Where's my cigarette? Where's my where's the food that I love so much? I don't know. Whatever that is. Not in a bad way. I'm not bashing smokers. I'm not bashing cuddle freaking addicted freaks. I'm not bashing food addictions, because shit, I had one too. But it's something that we don't really want to go after. Why? Because when you're choosing truth, sometimes your truth is saying no to yourself. and saying no to these habits that you kind of made a routine of. And if you really want to change, you got to stop taking yourself to the same freaking result, and whatever way that is, you definitely know what you're doing that is keeping you in this fucking loop or cycle that keeps leading you back or taking you back to what it is that you're trying to kick or let go of. And what it is just delaying your own guidance, because you deep down and when you delay your own guidance, it's just throwing yourself off your own path, and kind of keeping that vision, or that kind of, whether long-term future or short-term future you have envisioned for yourself, it's just keeping you away from that. And in turn, that's keeping you unhappy, and it's keeping you in these loops that it's time to let go of. So in short, it's not easy. It really isn't easy. And when we go over these things and we kind of like, group these, choosing yourself all together, it's like what people, my bad, but what people might be like expressing in terms of it being so amazing is probably once you get there. Because these people, if they actually did the work, they 100% know that getting there is not easy. It's not fucking easy. It's a journey, and it's a process, and it's something that you need to have patience with yourself. And you're allowed to have hope when it comes to these things, when things are hopeless, you have to have hope. And it's kind of like I'd say it's like a little bit of like a painkiller, if you're out here, you're feeling a little bit of pain, like you're like, damn, I kind of need that. I need that thing. I need that situation. You need to pop a little bit of painkiller in your mouth, a little bit of hope, and you have to trust that what you're doing is going to get you somewhere, that eventually it'll get easier, and that what you're going through is not going to be forever. And I wish I could say that it was that easy, like a fucking instant pain reliever. But no, it really is just about opening that bottle up, getting that freaking safety child lock off, and struggling with it a little bit, and trying to just move forward, getting it, having that vision for yourself, and trying to move forward as best as you can. Because I know that in those days where you kind of let your fear get to the best of you, or at the end of the day, it really is just choosing your fear versus love, like essentially what you love is what you want for yourself. Or and the fear is just you feeling like maybe, you're hopeless. And it's like those days when you let that fear get to you, and you end up choosing that easier route, and you go back to that exact same habit that you thought you were leaving behind already. And you just, turns out that, you kind of messed up your progress. That is just as hard as moving forward, because then you got to restart. And it's also about, there's definitely going to be days where you go through that, and you have to have that patience with yourself to be okay with starting over, to be okay with making mistakes, to be okay with, that there's going to be days where you're going to mess up, and you're going to have that patience with yourself. And that essentially is choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself enough to be okay with the process, to be okay with moving forward with the process, and even messing up with it, and not beating yourself up over it. So that's what I would kind of word it And I would kind of like to play more off of that, because I kind of like gave like a brief summary of it. But choosing something new is always going to be scary. Breaking out of a habit is always going to be scary. And especially if you have no clue of what you're supposed to be even doing, no clue about what the right steps could even be. And, you know, I'm going to give a little bit of example of my own, is that when I was going through this myself and I was choosing to give up a comfort, I was into the movie Fight Club for a little bit, so that probably had zero freaking it probably didn't fucking help, but it made me scared of my comfort. So it got me to this point where I was over here thinking like I couldn't like cuddle up in a fucking blanket and rest, or I wasn't allowed to eat good food, or I wasn't allowed to to just even enjoy fucking life. And that's the point where I was out here getting a little psycho with this shit. And it was really because I was moving from an unconscious fear, and it literally made me a freaking tyrant. I was my own tyrant because I was so scared of missing out on my own idealized future. And I thought comfort was the freaking enemy. But the freaking truth was, I was lying to myself, and I was choosing comfort the whole time. I was choosing fear the whole time. And my comfort, what was my comfort? I always struggled with having these self-destructive tendencies, and it literally just, maybe I stopped certain habits, but it transformed into this thing where I wasn't allowed to just fucking relax. And I literally went to this phase where every step I was making, it was coming from an unconscious fear. So I made my life so fucking hard, and way harder than it should have been for an 18-year-old, for a 17-year-old girl. And I thought I had to suffer. That was the thing. That was the truth. I always had that. That was always my belief. And it just took on this new form where it was just, that was my same belief. And that was what I needed to let go of, because that was the same issue that I was always running into. And I was lying to myself, and that's why I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that what I was doing was just me choosing the same freaking thing. And yeah, I thought I needed to suffer to be where I needed to be. And I just wanted to be where I wanted to be, quicker, faster, just everything that I wanted for myself before my time. And all that ended up happening was that a year of freaking chaos and stress, and it overran my life, and it shot me down physically, and it came to a point where I was forced to actually just rest and sit down. And that's when I came to the freaking epiphany, per se, the fucking epiphany of fucking hell, where I was just out here freaking, taking on toxic masculinity as a little girl, bruh. But it was really just me not making the decision. And I remember at some point, I was just in a period in my life where all that happened in a period in my life where I had no inspiration, no direction, and I didn't need it. And that's what fucking clocked me, bro. It clocked me. I didn't need it, and I didn't want that. I didn't accept it. It wasn't necessary, and I was just avoiding that fact. And it came across. It only hit me when I came across someone, and just the way they carried themselves, it truly had put me in my place. And it made me look at myself and how I was living my life. And it was kind of like they were a mirror sent to show me what I couldn't ignore, what couldn't be ignored anymore. And it was just one of those things that where you see, it kind of humbles you, because it's like you see someone in that spot. Sorry if I'm fidgeting so much, but you see someone in that spot that you want to be in so bad, and they got there doing everything that you thought you needed to let go of. And you're like, it's just seeing someone being able to balance their ability to be both tough and soft, and that they don't have to, that essentially not suffer, like they're allowed to give themselves the room and space and to be just so connected inwardly while going through challenges, still being so connected to what is going on within them and not pushing that aside, because I thought like most people just push that stuff aside to get to where they want to be. And this person was just out here working through it, working through that shit, and even letting people know about it, and that really put me in my spot, because it's like, I don't have to suffer, and I don't have to hide everything about myself, and I don't have to pretend that I'm something that I'm not, and then I'm allowed to, like there really wasn't any rush for me. And I was just going through what I was going through. It was a lesson. And of course I wouldn't hit a breakthrough when I'm going through a freaking lesson. The only breakthrough I was going to go through was after I had processed what was keeping me held there in the first place. And what I was doing, I wasn't choosing, we already went through this, but I was choosing my comfort the entire time. And that's when that realization really hit. That's when I really realized that. And why was I choosing that? It was because I was avoiding choosing my healing. And I was avoiding choosing that softer side of myself. And I was so freaking uncomfortable with it. It was just so uncomfortable, too uncomfortable with me, and to the fact that I lied to myself. And I thought it was me choosing a new story for myself, but it was the same fucking story, where I was just in reality choosing my same self-destructive freaking tendency that I felt safe in, and I had always struggled with, but it was just in a new form. And I finally came to that decision. I finally made the decision that led me to this freaking burnout that I was avoiding, and I grieved. I grieved, and I forgave myself. And I forgave myself for welcoming in this chaos and putting myself through certain situations that I didn't really deserve to be in, and that I was, like at the end of the day, I needed to have that patience, and I could have saved myself a lot of trouble, but I'm glad that I went through it, because it showed me those aspects of myself. And it was a decision that I wasn't making, and it ate me up. It ate me up inside, and I forgave myself. I forgave myself for choosing comfort, that same comfort that wasn't really doing anything for me from the start, and I forgave myself for self-deceiving myself for things that, just having that patience, again, that patience that is very important, that chances are when you're trying to choose yourself, you're not in a position where you're already choosing yourself. So really learning that self-compassion on that journey, learning what works best for you, what comforts you the best, that isn't necessarily going to take you back to those habits that you're trying to get away from in the first place. And don't get me wrong, I'm not over here like, I said in the freaking beginning of the video, I'm not over here freaking healed. I still got a long way in life, bro. Look, I'm over here picking eyelashes off my freaking face, pulling shit out of my face, trying to keep this earbud in my ear. I don't got my life freaking figured out. You think I got my life figured out? I'm pretty sure you could tell as soon as I started this video. But yeah, it doesn't take a freaking genius to know that. I think we give this I don't know how to say it, preconception? Fucking, I don't know. We assume that people have it figured out, and reality is nobody has it figured out. We can perfect our ability to navigate life and its challenges, but we can never truly understand life, and there's definitely there's a difference between fulfillment, and there's a difference between, what the hell am I saying? There's a difference between fulfillment and completion. And our life is never, ever going to be fucking complete. It's never going to be complete. We can be fulfilled in this life, but we're never going to be complete. Even when we die, we're not complete. We are essentially just transforming into something new, whatever that is. I don't know what happens when we die. I haven't tried it. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to tell you guys what happens after, but no one is ever done with the here. Damn. I need to get better at freaking speaking, bro. But no one is ever done with healing, and there also isn't a such thing as a life without pain. And we have to understand that. We have to come to peace with that and let go of those high expectations that we kind of place. Because maybe think about it from a perspective where we're not choosing completion, but we're choosing fulfillment. And that's essentially what we can do. Choose. It's always a choice. It's a choice. And perfection is never a realistic choice that we can make ourselves. And even if we see things that someone else makes and we think they're perfect, reality is it's not. It's not perfect, But it's the fact that what makes it perfect to you is probably the fact that someone had the courage to share that part of themselves, or to move forward through things, to just be themselves authentically, and to accept the fact that life, there's always going to be something out there that you wish was a little better, or something that you produced that was a little better, or it's someone coming to terms with that and proceeding to just to go, dude, it's just, there's always going to be something. That's my point. There's always going to be something, and it's about accepting that and moving forward anyways. And no, I'm not exactly telling you to I'm not telling you this to get your hopes down, or to not to even begin this journey, because it's just going to be even worse and even harder and go through bullshit. But no, I'm not telling you that. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that all of this could be avoided. What I'm saying is that I'm not trying to instill fear into you. I'm just letting you know the things that I would have liked to heard. That would have saved me so much time hearing. And I was kind of reluctant on hearing, to be honest. Because there's times where I look back and someone actually had a piece of wisdom that would have helped me, but I was in a place in my life where I wasn't open to hearing it. And the only way you can understand certain people that you probably come across is by going through things in life and making it through the other side. And if you want to be in a position where someone you see is in a position that you admire, you're going to have to accept that, and you're going to have to grow through those things. And what I want to say, my whole point here is, even though it's not going to be easy, even though it's not instant gratification, even though there's going to be some bullshit you come across, you don't need permission to start. And I'm not telling you that you don't need to have it all figured out. I'm saying that you don't. Bro, you can even tell that I don't have it figured out. But you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a life where pain is a sign that you're getting somewhere. You don't need a life where pain isn't a sign that you're getting somewhere. You know? I don't know if that made sense, but I'm just saying that things aren't always what they seem to be. And I'm here to tell you what I would have loved to hear when I was going through that things. And it's just to stop lying to yourself, to stop telling yourself an old story, and to just because you already know what it is that you need to do, whether that's a project, whether that's something that you need to stop doing and moving forward, and whatever way that applies to you. I just want to be that reminder to you that, that I'll play my part, and hopefully this video helps you to just start, to remember that it's a journey, that no one has it figured out, and what you are chasing isn't completion, it's fulfillment. And God, or whatever the hell is out there, the universe, would not plant an idea or a situation or a self-perceived prophecy or dream that you have or still have or want to fight. The universe will not give you that to kind of laugh at your face. It's there for a reason. And most of the time, the decision we're afraid to make is not because we're protecting ourselves. It's because of the changes that come with it. And it's about letting go and allowing to let go of those things that are no longer serving us. And eventually, even though it takes time, you will find that fulfillment, and that dream will come true, and that self, whatever that you longing for, there's a reason why you want it. There's a reason why, and it's not, universe is not putting it in your face and reminding you or having you feel stuck in your situation to torture you. It's to get you to see what it is that you're not. It's to show you what you're not living. It's to show you what is authentic. It's your authentic self and what you're choosing instead of it. So you don't need permission to start. You don't need permission to start anything, whatever that is, and just start it. Do it. Because you won't know. You could have every freaking single step planned out, and you could have it all freaking perfect, straight down to the littlest detail. But you won't know the obstacles. You won't know what you'll go through. You don't know what's going to stall you until you do it. You won't know what you thought you already had, but turns out you need something more than what you already had. You won't know until you do it. But once you do it, you'll have a lot more of an understanding, and you will be able to proceed. You will be able to proceed, whatever that is. Whatever it is, there is an end to it. There is a fulfillment to it. And whatever that is that you want for yourself, you will reach it. So just start it and do it. Start it. If you have to keep, I don't give a shit. If you fucking fail, start it, fail, do it again. That's just life. That's what life is. And maybe if the freaking, I'm sorry if the video didn't seem as coherent or one-track minded, but I'm trying. This is my first video, so I hope you guys like this video, and I'll catch you when I catch you. I guess I'm gonna try to put more of these out. Please let me know what I need to change and what I should do better on, because I just want to do my best for you guys. So thanks.